I don't know. I don't know if I knew or we'll fix it. I don't know. We got to figure it out. At the end of the day, this makes us better. Got to go watch the tapes, figure out what they do well against us, and try to stop it. And if we cannot stop it, probably lose again.
Okay, so I don't want to press the full panic button here, Perk, because the Bucks have still won 8 of their last 10. Why are you making the face? Well, what's the issue? What's the biggest issue for the Bucks right now?
Well, first, as you can see, no one is fearing the deer. Matter of fact, it's deer hunting season right now. It just started about a month and a half ago. So that's the number one thing. Second thing, I don't want to hear about what the Bucks been doing of late because they haven't played anyone. Yes, they got a nice win against the New York Knicks, and then the Knicks came back and returned the favor on Christmas Day. But they're not measured up against the New York Knicks. They are measured up against contenders. And I don't want to keep going back to this, but I have to. The Bucks have not got a signature win. And if you have elite perimeter play, you're going to beat the Milwaukee Bucks. When you're looking at facing at Damian Lillard, Malik Beasley, and Chris Middleton, that's your starting 5. Who's stopping someone on the perimeter? Nobody. So at the end of the day, until the Bucks figure it out, I don't know if they have to make another move. I don't know if Jay Crowder needs to get healthy. Whatever it needs to be. Right now, the Bucks are not a contending team. They haven't beat anyone, and they haven't shown us that they're able to elevate their level of defense on the perimeter.
Okay, I'm taking this personally because I know you said that there's not a signature win, and I argued you right here on this set about the New York Knicks, their win over them as a signature win. But I am still looking at the squad, and I'm looking at them in the standings, and right now it says Milwaukee's 24-9 and second in the East. I think, yeah, they may not have had that signature win in your point of view, Perk, but what they do have is identity issues. And it's very rare that you see Giannis Antetokounmpo just sit down and go, I don't know. I don't know. To me, that's telling. Because what I do know is that Giannis is showing up. He's playing hard. I mean, what was it, a triple-double that he had, 30 and 18 or so? Like, to him, what's baffling is, hey, we made this move. Mm-hmm. Why are things not working? I know it's a first-time coach. You have different pieces. Defense is struggling. They're 20th in defense versus last year they were 4th. Right. They're trying to adjust. What I see here is that they put their chips in the center of the table based off of offense. But a lot of other teams have done that as well. Right. The Indiana Pacers, I mean, they shot
Suns.
what? Yeah, the Suns. They shot poor from 3, but they got 70 points off of their bench. Like, they have the ability based off of Tyrese Halliburton to empower everybody.
Is that their new identity, though? I mean, they averaged like 132 points in the month of December. Is their new identity we're an offensive juggernaut and they're struggling to adjust to what that means for them?
Yeah, I think their identity is that we're leaning into Giannis and Dame. And I think Zach is perfect to take it from here because if you lean into that, why aren't we getting more of that, the pick and rolls, and just configuring an offense around there?
Totally.
So a lot of hand-wringing, a lot of fretting over a team who's 24-9 and 11-3 in its last 14 games. I guess credit to the Bucks because we're talking about them like they're the Lakers, like they lose one game and we have to have a what's wrong with the Bucks conversation. This has been the best offensive team in the league for the last 6 weeks. Number one, everyone's like, what's wrong with Damian Lillard? His shot's not falling. Damian Lillard is shooting 36.5% on threes. You know what he shot last season? 37.1.
Yeah.
Career, 37.2. His three-point shot is fine. His two-point shot has dipped a little bit, and I do think he and Giannis are kind of feeling out the right balance of power on offense, but Chris Middleton is starting to play like Chris Middleton again. The only question, and it's a big one, is defense. And Perk nailed it right at the top. Perimeter defense, because on the back line, you get past the first line, you got Giannis and Brook Lopez waiting for you. That's trouble. But this team made its bones under Mike Budenholzer with defense and rebounding. They're 20th in defense and 18th in defensive rebounding. And they've either got to get Jay Crowder healthy and have Marjon Beauchamp and Andre Jackson Jr. fortify the defense on the wing, or they've got to go out and search under the couch cushions for whatever they got left to trade and get one more guy that can be reliable on defense. Because if they go into the playoffs with this defense and this offense, they can get far. But, man, those top teams in the East are really, really good. But offense, fine.
Right. Well, we're nickel and diming because we're holding up the measuring stick as the Boston Celtics. We are expecting this team to be in the Eastern Conference Finals or further. Like, that's why we're talking about these teams. So, yeah, Go ahead, Perk. I'm just saying that's why we're talking about the Milwaukee Bucks like this.
And we should be, because look, after the Pacers sent them home in the in-season tournament, I'm looking at it right now. Okay, they beat the Bulls, they beat the Pacers, they beat the Pistons, they beat the Rockets, they beat the Spurs,
right.
They beat the Magic, they beat the Knicks, they beat the Nets, they beat the Cavs.
Thank you.
None of those teams are contenders.
Sure.
None of those teams. Those are games they're
But those are the
win.
those are the little adjustments they need to make. Dame didn't take a shot in clutch time yesterday.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
Yeah.
It's one game, but that's why we're looking at it like this, Zach. It's because we are expecting something come the postseason against the Boston Celtics. All right, since you mentioned the Lakers, just dragging them into this, Zach, let's get into the Lakers on NBA Today. They enter January with a 500 record after dropping 7 of their last 9 games, including both games since LeBron James turned 39 years old over the weekend. We could rehash the foot on the line, but, ask Kevin Durant. We're not going to do that. The Lakers, they open up a 5-game homestand tomorrow against the Heat. That starts a stretch of 10 of 12 games here at Crypto.com Arena. So if the Lakers are going to make a move in the West, it seems like there's no better time than right now to do it. Kendrick Perkins, as you look at the schedule, is this a make or break stretch for LA?
Hell yeah, it is. It's an auditioning stretch as well for the rest of the guys outside of AD and Braun. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. I know that group message that the Lakers team got is quiet. And when LeBron is not speaking in there, you got to be looking over your shoulder. I've been a part of those group messages. When he go quiet, he's not happy. So here's an opportunity for Rui to step his game up. Here's an opportunity for D'Angelo Russell to elevate his game, along with Jared Vanderbilt, and they will be tested. They will be tested. Look, I already think Rob Pelinka got plans on moving some people, but right now, this home stretch is so important for the others on the Los Angeles Lakers.
Agreed. 9 games. If you look at your professional player at the schedule, this is so important, especially considering it's January. This is make or break for the Lakers. Why can it make it? When you have a homestand at this point, you can make up for uncharacteristic losses that we've seen with Los Angeles. But it can be a breaking point, too, because what are you approaching after this homestand? You're going to be close to February, the trade deadline. And so if things don't go well, the Lakers might be thinking, we waited this long to see everyone healthy and out there. This could break up, as Perk said, the role player, so I agree.
So let me ask you this. Better or worse, do you think, just better or worse than last year through 34 games for the Lakers?
I think that they are better because they started off so poorly.
Right. So they're better than they were last year, but they're only better by 3 games, right, than they were through 34 games last season. And so when you think about a team that we all talked about as, right, Perk, like winning in the offseason, they made all these team-friendly deals. They brought back the guys that they needed to bring back. They have shooters. We know that's the recipe around LeBron. And then we get here, and they're only 3 games better than they were at this point last season with no huge Russell Westbrook deal to make. It feels disappointing. Yeah. It feels like we need to get to January 15th, which at this point is 12 days from now, and we hope, we expect them to make a move because Anthony Davis is playing out of his mind. LeBron James is playing on another planet at 39 years old. And everything else, it feels like, I don't know about you, Zach, but that's where I get a little bit like, all right, come on. We expected more from this team, so they need to do something about that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, not only that, they've been healthy. LeBron and AD, for the most part, have been healthy the whole season. If you had told me that and they'd be playing at this level, I would have guessed before the season they'd be like 21-13 after 34 games, not 17-17. And if you bring up that homestand that's coming up, yeah, those games are at home at Crypto. That's cool. Those teams are no joke for the most part. Those are good teams. Now, they may catch Miami without Jimmy Butler. That's a break. But those are good teams. You don't just walk in and win those games because they're at home. They're going to have to come out and play well. And I will keep harping on this every time we talk about the Lakers. They're 23rd in offense. Their offense is bad. It's been bad. It was bad last year. It was bad in the playoffs. They got a nice favorable draw and they gutted it out in the playoffs. They cannot make any noise with the 23rd best offense in the NBA. They cannot make any noise when their offensive efficiency rating is the same as the Washington Wizards, who are not trying to win at least on an organizational level. Their offense is not good enough. Jared Vanderbilt in the starting five is not the answer to that question, even if he helps their defense, even if he gets turnovers and they get to run out off misses. No, no, no. They have to find a formula that works around LeBron and AD on offense, or else, as you pointed out, we're going to get toward the trade deadline and the pressure internally to make a move to boost their offense, even if it's at the expense of their defense, is going to reach a breaking point. And the worst thing any team can do is make a panic trade from a position of weakness. So they've got to figure out their offense. And until they do that, they're just not in the same conversations we thought they were going to be in with these other teams above them.
Perk, what do you want to see the Lakers do? What do they need to prove to you in this stretch for you not to say, all right, you know what, I'm not so sure about Rui here, I'm not so sure about D'Lo here, etc.?
Well, one is that, they can't, like LeBron James playing the point guard, that's not going to be sustainable. They got to, like, D'Angelo got to find it within to pick up the pace. They play too slow. No easy baskets for Braun or AD, and that's why they miss a guy like Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah.
We forget what he brought to the table on both ends of the floor, but those guys just got to play, man. They got to elevate their game. And look, let me say this. I will not let Darvin Ham off the hook. He got to elevate his game as well with his rotations, with his set calling, with everything across the board. The way he staggered Braun and AD minutes, all across the board, Darvin Ham got to elevate his game. And I like Darvin Ham as a
Lakers Nation isn't letting him off the hook either when you check social media after those games.
One thing that was brought up was the formula for success with LeBron James. We all know what that formula is. That is perimeter shooting surrounded by LeBron James and a solid post player. And I know Perk has argued that you need backups that can go be in the Bruisers. I really think that number that we saw on that graphic, 28th in three-point shooting, that doesn't work in the NBA, especially now. So if you're not going to be a good three-point shooting team, you can't also be a slow team. You got to be a fast team.
Yeah.
You have to be able to push the pace in transition and, like Perk said, get easy buckets. So it's like they're losing by multiple categories. Typically, you just have to say, this is our one weakness. They have multiple.
25, 12, and 2.5 blocks a game. That's what AD is putting up. When he's putting up those numbers and this is the result, like that was the piece that we thought we were going to be talking about. It's just a little bit disappointing. All right.